Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this segment is on a local organization that since 1995 has invested over $143 million into the Central City. And here to tell us more about LISC and the J.P. Morgan Collaborative known as Brew City Match is Donsia Strong Hill. She's the Executive Director of Local Initiative Support Corporation, and Lilo Allen, she's the owner of Papyrus Charms in Milwaukee. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. And there's a lot to cover this morning, but this is all great news. So if you would first, Donsia, talk a little bit more about LISC and the work that you do on a daily basis.
Sure. The Local Initiative Support Corporation is an intermediary. We work in community development to assist local grassroots organizations and bids in the city to bring forth their ideas and dreams. We provide financing, technical assistance, and sometimes just special services to help move projects forward.
That's awesome. And speaking of projects that move forward, for the last 2 years, there's been this large-scale effort to develop and redevelop segments of downtown. And when you think of downtown doing and thriving in big ways, you've got the Bucks Arena, that's what, $600 million. And so what happens sometimes is that you have the immediate downtown area that's thriving, and then those areas that are kind of surrounding, sometimes just blocks away, that are not benefiting from the positive things that are happening. So that's where you guys have actually teamed up with other organizations in the city. You've got the City of Milwaukee itself, Greater Milwaukee Committee, Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and the Milwaukee Urban League, and you've collaborated for what's called Greater Downtown Action Agenda. Fill us in on that.
Sure. So within the MKE United footprint, there are 10, probably 11 neighborhoods that surround downtown where we try to activate the corridors and work with the community development groups to bring forth positive activities and to make sure that we can leverage and layer resources so that they also feel the benefit of what's going on downtown.
Yeah.
The MKE United team has put together a plan. It's on their website, and they've looked at 50 plans from years in the past to make sure that they are informed. They've done thousands of interviews and had thousands of touches in community engagement to make sure that they understand what the community wants to see. That's been going on for about 2 years. As part of that work, LISC layered on the resources that we bring and the relationships that we have to make sure that we are positively impacting and targeting initially 3 corridors in the ramp-up program.
Okay, that's good stuff, and I bet a lot of people watching are saying, I didn't know that, but really that's what these conversations are about, so that people are more aware of what's going on, sometimes right in their backyard, you know? So definitely got to talk about Lilo. She is here as a part of this J.P. Morgan Chase & Company collaborative that really is giving local entrepreneurs, small businesses, a chance to shine. So first and foremost, Lilo, we want to know more about Papyrus Charms. So fill us in.
Well, so I'm the owner of Papyrus Charms, what I like to call culturally conscious handmade goods, and that is just all handmade. It's my love child, and through Pop-Up Milwaukee and through the RISE program, not only was I able to give a home to my business, but in collaboration with my big sister Tiffany Miller of Fly Blooms, you're actually wearing a fly
wearing
bloom.
one of her blooms, yes.
Through the program, the building that we were able to get in the pop-up program for 30 days, we actually secured that building. So now we have a brick and mortar, and we partner with 2 other women. Jasmine Barmore is our artist in residence, and then we have Tamara White of Distinctive Designs. And with that collaborative, we also house 25 other local businesses. Wow. So what we're trying to form is sort of like what I like to call an anti-consignment shop that empowers other Black and brown people of color from the community that create and don't necessarily have access or visibility.
That's awesome.
And I was able to do that through the program.
Now I'm looking at, are you wearing any of your pieces?
I am.
Yes,
I'm wearing this one. It's my favorite. It's my chakra necklace that I go to when I need to calm my nerves.
And being a business owner, sometimes that's needed, right?
Yeah,
Now,
for
it's
sure.
my understanding that your father, he's in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he actually does a lot of the pieces that you have and makes them by hand. So
Yeah.
this is beautiful stuff.
So I get my love for using my hands actually from my dad. So my dad lives in Mandeville, which is about 2 hours from Montego Bay, and he will use the coconut shells from our property, the palm tree seeds, and he will drill the holes in the beads, hand paint them. He's also a tailor, so he makes little bags. And that partnership is beautiful because I can say, like, this really came from my heritage and my culture.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, thank
Tell
you.
your daddy to send us some of that
Oh,
sunshine, too.
I will. I need it.
That's lovely. And so you have a website, I'm sure, where people can get more information
I do.
on your pieces and how
Yeah.
they can get their hands on it.
Yep. So the website is www.papyrusandcharms.com. So that's PAPYRUSAND and then the word charms. .com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So if you would now fill us in, she's given us a great idea of how her business has been able to benefit with this pop-up MKE and the RISE programs, which again is a part of the JP Morgan Chase & Company collaborative, right?
Sure.
So please break it down for us on how these pop-ups work.
So Lilo is exactly what we were trying to do. We were trying to reach minority entrepreneurs who had not maybe thought about a brick and mortar opportunity. Maybe they're selling their goods online, maybe they're selling them on Facebook, but to provide them an opportunity to come within the corridors and make those corridors visible and active again.
Yeah.
So we had 4 pop-up shops in Milwaukee, one on North Avenue near King Drive, one on North Avenue west of 16th Street, and then one on the Cesar Chavez Drive. After 3 sessions of pop-up entrepreneurs going through the program, we moved into what is now phase 2. Phase 2 is Brew City Match. And we had to phase it because we wanted to make sure that as we were bringing forward these resources, that we didn't inadvertently create an opportunity for others to come in without providing neighborhood-based or individuals to be able to exercise their interest in being an entrepreneur and opening a business on the corridor. Brew City Match has been staked with $3.5 million from JP Morgan. There are 5 of us organizations that are involved in that. Our other partners are the Hmong Chamber of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Women in Business, and also a corporation, and also MEDC, and finally Columbia Savings and Loan, the last Black bank in Wisconsin. We will share that money to make loans, to provide matching grants with city programs, to also provide services to businesses like Lilo's. We'll provide an opportunity for other bids to open pop-up shops as well. And we're going to be offering an opportunity for building owners to also leverage the work that they would like to do.
Wow, it's like a chill bump effect. It's outstanding work. And am I correct, you kind of got this from a blueprint out of Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit had Motor City Match. And we took a tour, city officials, other community groups and entrepreneurs last year. And we were blown away with what they've been able to accomplish and really wanted to replicate that here. Of course, Milwaukee is different than Detroit and the resources are different, and so our response will be different, but we're confident that we're going to do something quite successful and very nice.
Absolutely. And so what I'd like to do, Lilo, if we can, because there are a lot of people who have a dream of owning their own business, and if you would talk about some of the steps that you've taken in order to get where you are, and what advice would you give someone who wants to start their own?
For anybody that's interested, I definitely say dive in, but my biggest advice is always that you can never be a master of something until you're a student of it. So take advantage of all the resources that are provided through the RISE program, that's with the African American Chamber of Commerce, I was really able to get a rein in on what it means to be an entrepreneur, more so from the business perspective instead of just being a creative. So what that does is it really helps you with your finances. It tells you, they give you business coaching, and you get to see examples from business owners in the community that are already successful. And you can just pattern after that and kind of figure it out as you go. But if you're going to do it, I definitely just suggest dive into it and really be intentional about learning as much as you can.
Great advice. And there are some great organizations and resources out there. When you were talking, what came to mind is the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation, also known as WBIC. They do a great job in giving people an opportunity to take advantage of grants and things of that nature. So there's a lot out there. And so one can get in contact with LISC to kind of find out what resources are available when it comes to starting their own.
Certainly, we would be happy to connect folks to the resources that we're familiar with and our partners. The Hmong Chamber, they have training. WBIC has training. The African American Chamber has training. And we're working with the Milwaukee Urban League to revamp their SCORE program so that they have business executives who are willing to give back to local entrepreneurs.
This is great, and this is really an example of it takes a village. Because there's so many outstanding organizations that are working together. So for somebody that's out there watching and they are kind of like Lilo and they've got this great product, you know, and they're online, but they'd like to also take advantage and do great things such as a pop-up. What advice do they follow to take part?
So certainly contact LISC. We're happy to make the referral. Our RISE, the program RISE that we're involved with the African American Chamber, contact the executive director there and go for your dream.
Yeah, there it is. Don't let anything get in the way. Just, you can't say that you didn't try if you don't try, right?
Exactly.
That's really it. I kind of made up my own quote there.
I like it.
Thank you. I should just, my go-to quote is the journey of 1,000 miles. It really does start with a single step. So making that phone call and really just making the necessary moves to make it happen. That's what you got to do, right? All right. So real quick, LISC also believes in affordable housing and wealth building and all of these different things and helping individuals reach their full potential. And you've been quoted as saying that your goal is not a quick win. You really like to think strategically and take steps from there and make it happen.
That's correct. So we describe the work that we do as comprehensive community development. And a lot of folks now describe it as the social determinants of health. You need all of those to have a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle. So we are there to think strategically and think for the long term. How do we piece all of this together? How do we make it make sense for those in the neighborhoods so that they can actually access it and change the trajectory of their lives?
Okay, and so as we wrap up, I wanted to see if there's anything else you want to tell us about your business and some of the pieces that you have.
So like I said before, everything is handmade, and the cultural conscious aspect is me representing what it means to be a part of the African diaspora and also be a Jamaican American person. But that's just one aspect of the business. So that's Papyrus and Charms. But with the other three women, that I partner with, we were able to create a space not just for ourselves, but also to empower a myriad of other business owners who might not yet have a full business where they can have a brick and mortar for themselves, but they can be a part of something. And we don't have a storefront in Bronzeville at all that has Black and brown creative representation in the way that the store that we have is fostered. So that's called the MKE Creative Marketplace, and it's on 4th and North Avenue across the street from the new Black Holocaust Museum.
All right, great way to end today's show. Thank you both so much for the great information. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise.
Donsia Strong Hill, she is the Executive Director of Local Initiative Support Corporation, also known as LISC, and Lilo Allen, she's the owner of Papyrus and Charms in Milwaukee. For more information on anything that we've discussed today, you can visit the LISC website at lisc.org or give them a call at 273-1815. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.